It's me, Mario!
Hey guys, the NDC Chief here for episode number 2 of CAG. In case you forgot since last time, C for case, A for app, and G for game. But today will be a very special episode of CAG because we'll be focusing mainly on the A. I will be reviewing my 3 favorite Android Siri-like apps. And if you want to check the full video on all Siri apps, the link will be below in the description. But for the sake of CAG, I will only review my top 3. The case for today will be the Casemate Pop for the Samsung Galaxy S2 Skyrocket, like usual. And this case is about $16 on Amazon. The link will be below in the description. So let's take this guy out here. Now if we look, we get a nice little design in here for the case. And this case is one piece, but it's 2 different materials. The inside is a silicone shell, as well as the sides are silicone, and the outside is a harder plastic shell. You have cutouts for everything but your volume rockers and your lock button. Those have little embossments. And the case installs similar to the Digitronic in the sense that you are just going to push it in and you will be off. So let's take our device here and get it right in. We're going to slide one half in. And we're going to get the other side. And there you go. Nice and tight. Make sure all your corners and sides are in and you will be good to go. Case does add quite a bit of bulk to it, but it adds just as much protection as it does bulk. It makes sure that your device will probably never get damaged with this case on. I dropped it once pretty badly with this case on, but all it did was damage the case with a couple scratches on the back, and not all that bad, but what do you do? It does have a profile design where if you were to lay it on the table, screen never touches and camera never touches. But let's get into the case here. So you get in here, you got access to everything. Your home buttons are easy to access. Your volume, no problem. Lock button, no issue either. So the case doesn't really ruin anything. You know, you got access to everything, nice and easy. As far as the headphone goes, it's a nice little, it's a pretty generous case here for it, but my stereo cable does not go all the way in, so that's a bit of a downside. But anyway, into the more interesting part here, we're going to go into our Siri apps. I'm going to go into Siri folder. I use semi folders here, so look at this. And my top 3 are the Google Voice Search, Iris, and Virtual Assistant. We'll go into it first with Virtual Assistant, and she does pretty much anything you want me to do. So we'll try sending a text. Send text to Mike Costanzo. How are you doing today?
Here's the message I'm sending to Mike Costanzo. How are you doing today? Okay?
Yes.
Okay, off it goes.
And just like that, it sends your message. It also does navigation, questions, it does pretty much everything. Now you get this cool little person, and she does actually, if I were to ask something that she didn't like, her face would kind of scrunch up. But yeah, that's pretty much the handle on Virtual Assistant. She's very responsive, very good voice recognition in the sense that it really picks up what you're saying, and if it doesn't, it's really easy to go back and fix it. Another part that I like is that you can actually just type a question in and say, what's the weather? What's the weather for Roselle, Illinois? Can't spell Illinois. And then it does it.
The current
And there you
weather
go.
for Roselle, Illinois is partly cloudy, 44 degrees Fahrenheit, 7 degrees Celsius.
Just like that, that's your Virtual Assistant. Free on the Google Play Store, and probably my favorite choice. But if we go back into this one, we'll go into Iris, another really good Siri wannabe. This is Siri in reverse, Iris. Iris was the first one that I started using because it was just one of the early ones that was probably the best version out there, but as time goes on, the betas turn into actual applications, and you get more and more and more Siri-like applications that are kind of more intuitive than Iris, if you want to say it like that. I still like Iris for the sense of like asking questions to her and things like that if you want to go. What is the Pythagorean theorem?
You asked what is the Pythagorean theorem.
And
In any right triangle, the area of the square whose side is the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the areas of the squares whose sides are the 2 legs. In
And just like that, you got your response. It's just a little thing down here on spins when you ask your question, and it'll come back with a response. And in this case, it was a rather large response. I like Iris, but another really cool feature with Iris is music. If I want to go play song Rolling in the Deep,
US plays up.
and it goes right into your music player. And it jumps right into music player for you, and it starts everything up. So I think that's kind of cool. And the final one that I like probably the best is Google Voice Search. Yes, it doesn't talk back to you like Siri, but it's probably the most responsive of anything because it's the Google application that comes standard on your Android device. It does anything from navigation to messages, just anything you want to do. If I want to say, navigate to Pizza Hut, and just like that, it knows what you say, it thinks about it, and then once that goes all the way around, it opens up a Google Map application. Is my GPS on? Yes, it is. We wait for the location, and it'll bring up my location, it'll bring up the nearest Pizza Hut, and it'll direct me right to them with step-by-step instructions. Or I like to do call, because I think call is probably the coolest thing. If I want to say, call Outback Steakhouse, Bloomingdale, Illinois. And it pulls up the address, it pulls up the number, and it calls it for you, and then it brings it up here. And if you put it on speaker, turn up the volume.
G'day, mate, and thanks for calling Outback Steakhouse in Bloomingdale.
And there you go. And there you go. That was Outback Steakhouse. So those are my 3 favorite Siri applications. You have Iris, Speak to It Virtual Assistant, and your Google Voice Search. Both Iris and the Virtual Assistant are free in the Play Store, and the Google Search app Google Voice Search should already be installed on your Android device. So thank you very much for tuning in today to the second episode of CAG, focusing mainly on the C and the A today. No game. Sorry, but we will do a double dip with the game next time. We'll have 2 games to compensate for this. But we looked into Siri wannabe apps as well as the Casemate Pop for the Samsung Galaxy S2 Skyrocket. I really like the Casemate Pop. It adds a lot of protection to your device. It doesn't add that much bulk, but it does add quite a bit. But for everything in bulk, it makes up in protection. $16 on Amazon, and once again, the link will be below in the description. And that is it. This is the NDC Chief saying thank you, subscribe, like, and come back next time. Have a great day.